Good to see you too.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it. All right, now I have y'all's pictures a little bit bigger, so I am going to step back to my stage. I was just talking about the props that we're going to use today. So you will have your bar or your chair or whatever, and then if you want to use your sets of weights, I just recommend a light set. I was mentioning less than 5 pounds. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and just get started standing. So you can actually come into your side profile. We're going to have that bar off to the side. Turn those feet out to the corners of the room, and feet are a little wider than hip distance. So we're going to start with just a second position plie. Bring your arm in front as you come down, rotate the knees towards the back of the room, and lift the arm up overhead as we come up. It's an inhale to come down, and exhale, lift. So warming up that lower body, and we are getting started in our turnout. So we've got those feet steering out to the corners, and you want to think about keeping the inside of the big toe up off the floor just a little bit. Keep rotating those knees towards the back, and just think about dropping your hips straight down. Beautiful. Just a few more like this, and we're going to make it more interesting. Yeah. Great job, y'all. It's looking good. Chest stays nice and tall. So many beautiful cameras and pictures, whatever. And one more here. Hold at the top, and we're going to add a sweep of that leg. So bring your arm down and sweep that inside leg in. We're basically coming into that first position. Yeah, I'm going to fix my mat. Coming to that first position, and bring your arm in front, one plie down and up. Squeeze the inner thighs. We're coming down and up. So think about pressing that floor away from you with the feet. Really squeezing those inner thighs at the top. And try to think about your hips ending at your rib cage. So I'm really lifting up out of that lower body. Yeah, very nice. And if you want to do this without your bar, you can always do it with the arms just on your hips, your hands on the hips, I guess I should say. And we're going to make this a little more fun in a moment. Last 2 like this. Beautiful. One more here. And slowly let that arm go. Come out back into your wide second. And sweep those legs together into your first and bring that arm overhead. Squeeze the inner thighs. Very nice. And then the outside leg is going to go back out. So outside leg comes out. Outside leg comes in. Outside leg comes out. And outside leg comes in. Good. Now really squeeze those inner thighs together like there's 2 magnets. Yeah, there's 2 magnets pulling them together. Good. And if you want to just bring your hand to your hip, you can always do that as well. Working on that lower body. If you want a little more challenge, we're just going to add a little lift of that leg. So it's a passe, bending that knee, and just giving a little float. Or just floating it up off the floor. Good. Y'all are looking so good. Try to keep a micro bend in your knee at the top. Yes, beautiful, everyone. Try to really be intentional about pressing into those feet evenly. So we want to make sure we're not leaning too far to the outside leg. That's kind of a challenge with this one. Yeah, nice adjustments. Very good. We've got just a few more here. Last 2. And one more we hold at the top. Liz's favorite. We're going to send that leg back and just lift that leg up and lower. We only got 8 reps here. 6 more, and then we're going to come back to center. Point that toe a little bit. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring that all the way in. And you can keep that arm overhead, or you can send that arm behind you as the leg comes back. I'll show you this from the side. You're coming up like so, and sweep the arm and leg back as you come back. So we're lifting up and out. Now, if I'm still working on the balance, you can always give a little kickstand. Just tap your toe right there and kind of draw a line on the floor and tap the toe. Drawing a little line. Good, very nice. Beautiful work, y'all. Now, we're almost done with this variation. Try to keep that leg turned out. So as we're coming up into that passe, we're still turned out. And hold at the top here. And go ahead and just let that go. Shake it out, shake it out. And take your bar to the other side. You can either flip your bar or you can flip your body, but you want to be on the other side. Yeah. So go ahead and turn your toes out. We're going in that wide second. So the feet are wider than hip distance. And beautiful, y'all. Just lower down to that plie. Bring your arm in front of you and then reach the arm overhead as you come up. Love it. Inhaling down and exhale up. Try to really rotate those knees towards the back of the room as you come down. Yes, very nice. I love that. You can think about keeping your chest nice and tall. Trying not to lean forward with that upper body. And think about really driving up through those glutes. Beautiful, y'all. Now, we're going to have some options to change this up. So we've got a few more just like this with the arm, and then we're going to go into our first position. So 2 more like this. Last one. You go ahead and hold at the top, release your arms, sweep that outside leg in. So you're in a first position, the heels are together, and you're just going to squeeze those inner thighs just like 2 magnets. Now we come into that plie, bang, bring that arm in front, arm overhead as the legs squeeze together. Yes, perfect. Looks good. I have a backup dancer who's outside of the frame right now, which is unfortunate because she looks so good, but it's all good. We are going to get stronger. Every time we do this, think about those hips ending at your ribs. And you want to make sure that those knees are staying tracked right over the second and third toe. So if they start kind of steering forward, just don't go quite as low into your plie. Good, nice adjustments. We just have 2 more like this. And the last one, we'll hold at the top and lower that arm. Now, stepping back out into your second, right? So you can add the arm here if you want. It just floats right out to the side and squeeze those inner thighs together like there's 2 magnets between them, right up to your first position. Beautiful. And step it out wide second and right up to first. Nice. Now, the challenge here is to really be intentional about being even in those legs. So when I come down into my wide position, I have got even weight in both feet. It becomes really easy to want to like send all my energy that way and do this sort of stuff, but try to keep it centered on both legs if you can. Just go as slow as you need to find that balance. And if you wanted to add on to this, it's a little passe, bending the knee and just bring that toe in. Okay. It's your outside leg that's coming up. And if balance is a struggle, all you need to do is just tap your toe right by your instep. Nice kickstand. Beautiful job, y'all. Try to keep a micro bend in that standing leg as well. You guys are looking amazing. Keep pushing those knees towards the back of the room as you lower. So fantastic. You just have a few more like this. Last 3. And we're going to take 1 series of the arabesque after our next one. It won't be too long. So lower in your plie and then hold at the top here once you get there. And you can send that leg behind you. Option to reach that arm following the leg. And then it just comes back up. I'll show you this from the side. Makes a little more sense. You see it this way. So you're here, passe, same arm, same leg, reach back. And then I'm right back up to where I started. So if balance is a challenge, you can just tap your toe right by that instep and then lengthen out and up. Then we just have a few like this, and then we do that arabesque pulse. And then we get to move on to a totally new move. But you can feel like a dancer, feel so strong. Really nice, everyone. Good balance. I love it. The back leg does not have to be high. We realized very quickly. We'll take one more here. Lengthen out and then hold at the top. Now, lift up, hold, and just lengthen the leg without hinging the upper body. So it's just the leg now. And we're just going to lift and lower. Just a lift and lower. If you want to bring your hand to your hip, that's fine as well. Just a few like this. I know it's tough. We got 3 more. And then we're done with this one. 2 and 1. Beautiful. All the way in. Whoo! All righty. Great job, you guys. Now, I am going to show you this one a couple different ways so you can see. But I think probably the way that makes the most sense is to face the bar like so. But you can also do side profile if you want. I'm going to show you it both ways so you can see. But we'll start facing the bar and come into our curtsy lunge. So you can step your left leg back, your right leg is forward. Bend the front knee so that it's right over the ankle. Make sure you can flex your foot on that front leg. And as you're stepping back, your feet are on about 2 train tracks distance apart. As we come up, it's just a little tap to the outside of your mat. And then we're stepping back right into that curtsy. And then we tap it out to the side. Perfect. Yes, very nice. Looks good, Rome. So I'll show you this from the front. You can do this with or without the bar, actually. You're just coming down into a curtsy, and it's a little tap. It's a curtsy down, and a lift. Now really keep a micro bend in your standing leg. Nice. And make sure you can still flex your foot on that front leg. Beautiful work, y'all. It's looking very good. We're going to take a few more like this before we add on. Think about pressing through the 3 corners of your foot as you drive up to the top. If you want more, we're just going to add a leg lift, right? So we lift up, that leg just floats off the floor barely, and it's down. And we're barely floating, and we're down. Very nice, y'all. The form is looking on point. So we're here. It's just a little float. And you can start to add some arms to this if you want to add a balance challenge. Just bringing those arms in front. You can really do anything that you want with the arms. Just keep it interesting. But anytime you take them away from the bar, that will increase the balance. Y'all are looking so good. Form on point. Very nice work. I know the burn is real, but we are so strong. We just have a few more like this. 2 more. Next one, we hold at the top. Hold, hold, hold. Lower your toe down to the floor. Take a moment to reset. And we're going to go back out to that, but I just want to take a quick shake through those legs. Now, tap your left toe back out to where you had it. And we're just going to lift that leg barely off the floor, flex your foot, and just bend that knee in and kick it out. We're bending it in and kicking it out. It's just a little kick. It's basically a hamstring curl. Yes, very nice, y'all. Looks good. Y'all's balance is so good. So great work. Right? It's one of those moves that is like, why does it hurt so much? Just a few more here for 3 and 2 and 1. Woo, go ahead and let that go. And we'll take it on to the other side. So step your right leg back. You got your curtsy. Left leg is forward, knee over ankle. Step your right leg out, just a little tap out to the side. And lower down. And up. Now you don't have to go very low in that curtsy. You don't have to go very low to feel it, that is for sure. But make sure that you can press up through the 3 corners of your front foot. I'm going to show you this also from the side. So I'm coming down, and it's just a little tap. I'm coming down, and it's a little tap. Beautiful, y'all. Keep focusing on your breath. Make sure you can still flex that front foot. Good, very nice adjustments, you guys. Great work, we're almost there. And if you want to lose your chair, you can always do that, right? You reach the arms out, you can make it a little bit more difficult if you want. Totally up to you. But basically just gonna do everything on the other side. So if you want to lift that leg, right, you can add that little leg lift at the top. I'll turn to the front so you can see. We're gonna lift the leg lift, we're down, and it's a little leg lift. So we're basically just gonna repeat everything on the other side. And then we're gonna be able to give those legs a break. So try to just focus on your balance, keep those hips level as much as possible. You've got 2 more like this. And then we add our little kick. So hold at the top, hold, just for 3, 2, and 1. A little shake, just kind of reset. And we're just gonna take that kick on the other side. So I'm gonna show you this just so you can see. So I'm gonna show you right from here. You're gonna lift that leg out to the side, just a little tap, just like we came out of our curtsy, pretending. Now lift that leg, flex the foot, bend it in and out. In and out. It's a little kick. Very nice, everyone. That looks awesome. You want to think about keeping that micro bend in your standing leg. And just feeling that burn. We're almost done with this variation. You've got 3 for 2. And our last one right here. Woo, great job. Go ahead and let that go. And shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Woo. Alrighty. Now we're gonna come into a stretch, so you can use your bar for this one or not. You're just gonna cross one leg over the other. And sometimes I like to back myself up so I can come into a nice tabletop. But depends on how flexible you are. So some of you might just want to hang out right here, kind of play around with it. So you can kind of go as low as you want to there. Some folks might feel comfortable coming all the way down. It's really just up to you. May depend on the day. And taking it on the other side when you're ready. So you just come back up to the top and cross the opposite leg over. And same options here. If you want to use your bar, you can do that, or you can reach for the mat. Definitely love doing this stretch after all that glute work. Feels so good. Yeah. And we'll come back up to the top when you're ready, vertebrae by vertebrae. Whew, alrighty, you can place your bar out of the way for now. We may need it again, but we may not. We'll see. We're gonna come down onto the mat, so you can actually just take a seat. Very fancy transition. I'm just gonna sit down, but that's okay. So go ahead and start by just rolling down slowly with control, coming down onto your back, and I'm gonna tilt the camera down a little bit because the lighting is a little weird. Okay, perfect. All right, y'all, now let's get into the abs. Feet are gonna be right underneath those knees, and your knees are hugged into the midline slightly. Bring your hands behind the nape of the neck, elbows wide, walking the shoulders back. Now, I want you to pretend that there is a fence, a barbed wire fence right here on my rib cage. So I want to lift up, and there's a fence right here. I want to lift up and then over. Let's try to feel that lift come from the rib cage, right? We're lifting up and then over. Right, so that is going to be our upper abdominal crunch. Inhale down and exhale up right over the barbed wire fence. Inhale down and up. Really nice. Looks good, Rome. Just focusing on that breath here. Now, if you want a little more, we're just going to lift one knee, following it by the other. And push that foot into the floor like you mean it. So strong. Beautiful, everyone. Now, if you want to, you can also do this with just the lower body. That is another option if the head neck is hurting. But we're going to have a lot more abs to work every single one of those midsection muscles, pretty much. For lack of a better term. One more alternating each side. Well, I guess 2 more alternating, 1 more each side. And our last one. Now come down. Whoo! All right, everyone, that was amazing. Let's play around with this a little bit. Place your hands in a triangle. And we're going to actually place them on your pelvis just here when we get started, and then we'll move them. So I literally just place them on my pelvis. It looks kind of like this. I know it looks a little bit awkward, but we're going to learn how to activate our lower abs. So try to keep those hands flat, like you were balancing a cup of soup on them. So you want to keep them nice and flat as one leg comes up and then the other. So this is when we hinge from our hip. You want the hinge to be coming right from that crease where your fingertip is, right? So my hip hinge comes from this little crease right here. So try to see if you can feel that movement with your hands there. Now that is just a little trick basically to find your awareness. Once you get the hang of it, you don't need to keep doing that. But the actual move we're going to go into, we're going to bring our legs up to tabletop. So that trick is just what I like to do to make sure that my pelvis is staying stable. And then we just tap one foot, following it by the other. This is where we're going to start to warm up the lower abs. Very nice. Now, something that you might notice here is that the low back tries to come up. So when my leg comes down, you might see this sort of thing happens. You know, my lower belly starts to like pooch out. That's what we want to try to avoid as much as we can. Now, those of you that have been here a while, you can lengthen your legs, flex the feet a little bit, and just lower one leg at a time. Lowering down and up, but it's still a hinge from that hip though. So when we get that awareness with our hands, that's what our hip hinge actually feels like. It's a little bit different than how we normally will think about it. But gives us that extra challenge. Now, if you want even more, we're gonna do both legs same time. You can keep the legs bent for this one as well, if you want to. Go down, and we are up. Very nice, everyone. Now, think about focusing on your breath. We're inhaling to lower and exhaling up. Very nice. Let's just take one more here. And then we hold at the top. Hold, hold, hold. All right, go ahead and bring those knees in and let them go. We're going to shimmy it side to side, just real quick. And we're going to take it into our crisscross. So bring your knees back up into the tabletop, and you can bring your hands behind the nape of the neck if you want. I'm going to show you the legs and then add the upper body. So the legs are basically just a leg extension and then a leg extension, just alternating sides. And you can take those legs a little bit higher, maybe 45 degrees. If you want a little more, we're going to add the upper body. The left shoulder goes by the right thigh, and then we just alternate. It's a little crisscross. Think about spreading your clavicles wide as you reach. So as I twist to the left, my left clavicle is reaching towards the back. My right clavicle reaches forward, and same. So you guys keep right on going. When you're coming into that crisscross, I want you to think about opening, right? So I'm here, and I'm opening. My back arm is reaching this way, and my front arm is reaching that way. And then I'm reaching. It's really open as you twist. Very nice. I love that. It looks so good. Keep up the great work, everyone. Now, if we do them properly, we don't have to do as many. So we only have 2 more, just one each side. Last one. And your knees come in. You relax your head, neck. Woo! Nice, everyone. Now you can bring your hands down if you're not already. And if you want to, you can put your hands in a triangle and place them underneath your booty for support. If you've been here a while, you might want to take your arms further out. Totally up to you. But I'll start here, and then we'll move on. So bring your legs up into that tabletop. And we still want to try to hinge from the hip, even if we don't have our hands there. We still want to try to hinge from that hip. Now, we're going to go through a really small movement. Let your knees shift over to the right and try to bring your left booty cheek off the floor. And right back to center. Now, lift your right booty cheek and just bring the legs to the left. Yeah, just a little twist. But we're going to make this a little bit harder. So, it's not all fun and games. Let's go ahead and take this to the right. Feel your left booty cheek lift. Keep your left booty cheek lifted as those legs come closer to the floor. Now, both booty cheeks down and right booty cheek up. And now bring the knees back in. So it's like a little square. We're here in the center. We go to the right. We draw that square back to center and finish it out. So we're center. We're going to the right, down, center, left, and back up. So this is actually our pelvic clock, right? Because we're going in a clock, circle-like fashion. Very nice. One more this direction. And I know it's a really small move. Makes a big difference. Hold in the center when you're ready. We're going to go through this on the other side. So lift your right booty cheek, press your left booty cheek into the mat. Now lower those feet. Now both booty cheeks down. Now the left booty cheek lifts. Yes, now knees in. It's a little square, sort of. Go to the left, lower the legs, back to center, and to the right, and in. Good. So you can make this a little smoother, making a little circle with those legs. You're really drawing a circle with the knees, technically. Beautiful, everyone. I love it. We really only need to do a few of these, so finish out one more and hold in the center. Woo! You guys are amazing. Now hug your knees in and get yourself back up to seated if you want to rock and roll up, or you come into your fetal position and just basically press yourself up. And I always know it's a success once my hairband comes off, so that's good. Go ahead and come into your seat and pull your booty cheeks apart, finding your sitting bones. We're going to do that pelvic clock from seated. If you have low back issues, you're just going to do another round of this on the mat, laying down. Otherwise, tuck your tail just a smidge. So we're just tucking the tail a little bit, and you can have your arms on your thighs or they can reach out in front. But we're going to find that pelvic clocking first by just lifting one leg though, and then follow that with the other. So just alternate legs here as you get the lower abs turned on, but try to keep that tailbone tucked. Very nice. So the key here is to really try to keep that tailbone tucked. So when I come down, I'll show you this. When I come down too far, my back starts to want to kind of do that sort of thing. See how subtle that is? This is my C curve, and this is going to be a flat back. So we want to actually stay a little bit tucked here. That's going to make it a little bit harder and really work a little bit more effectively. Work more effectively. All right. One more each side, and then we're moving on. Great work. Go ahead and come up. Our next one is going to follow the same thing with the lower body, but I'll show you something different with the arms. So you're just coming behind the sitting bones and tucking that tail, bringing those arms out and turning the palms outward so my shoulders can open a little bit. Now, still tucking your tail here, trying to bring one leg up and then the other. Now that gets really challenging, so don't feel like you have to be there too long. If you want to come back down, take a little rest.
I didn't understand that.
My phone thinks I'm talking to it. It's fine. All right, go ahead and lift those legs up. Now, once you're here, see if you can just lengthen one leg and then back in. Just alternate sides We don't have to be here too long though. Just try to keep your tailbone tucked. If you keep your tailbone tucked, you won't feel it as much in your hip flexor. At least you shouldn't. Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy? I love that. My backup dancer likes it.
It worked.
Yeah.
It wasn't tucking.
It's so subtle, but so different. Keep tucking that tail just for 2 more, and then we're gonna move on. Lower both legs when you're ready. Woo! All right. Now let's stretch it out. You can bring those feet together, soles of the feet together, knees out, and you can pull your booty cheeks out. Yeah, it feels so good. And take a little hinge forward. Pretend like there's a $100 bill right between the hip flexor and the low belly. You come down, really keeping that length in the low back. Very nice. Y'all are looking so good.
I'm so centered right now. This is so good. Like I feel like it stretch my glutes.
Yeah. So you should feel a nice stretch in the inner thighs and glutes. And you can add a little circle here too if you want. It's just a little circle of that upper body. Circling it around and up. Just real gentle, but very good. And reverse that circle when you're ready. Just coming both directions. And then I will show you guys some more fun stuff. I know, surprise. Go ahead and hold at the top when you're ready. Alrighty, now you can use your weights for this one if you want to. I have another pair of weights over there if you want them.
Are they lighter?
No, but I'll help you out in a second. Go ahead and hinge right back. So remember our boat pose. Tuck your tailbone and come right back into that halfway point,
I'm gonna try.
and just basically hold on to those weights right here. So if you remember, you recall, we were basically just here before, but now you've just got those weights, and we send them out, micro bend in the elbows, and then we bring them back in. And then we bring them out, and we bring them in. So keep your tailbone tucked on this one as well, and feel the burn. You can always use these ones too if you want. Get it, girl. Y'all are looking so good. Keep pushing those feet in towards the floor. Squeeze your glutes, tuck the tail. And you can always come up out of your seat, right? And just do these from seated. If the abs need a break, you can always try that. But this is where we get on a little bit more abdominal work, stabilization. All right, last one like this. And hold those weights out in front of you just to micro bend those elbows and pulse it up and down, up and down. You can always take a deeper bend in those elbows as well. Very nice, y'all. Last 4 and 3, tuck your tail, 2 and 1. Beautiful job. Come all the way back up. Let those weights go and shake it out, shake it out. Great work, everyone. Now we're gonna actually come down onto the floor and we're gonna bring our weights with us. You guys will like this one, I think. And this one, if you want to go heavier on the weights, you can go maybe a little heavier, but we don't want to go too heavy still. So this one is going to work our arms, but we're also going to work the abs. So you just come onto your back, bring those arms up. Got one in each hand. And we bring one leg up, following it by the other. Beautiful work. Now, from here, we're just going to open one arm. So keep the knees right where they are and just open the left arm into goalpost. And then punch it up. Just the left arm. Keep the right arm up overhead. Good. Very nice. So we're just going to do this side, and then we're going to do the other side. Now, why are we doing only one side? Basically, it just gets a different angle on those obliques. So as my left elbow is opening, I can feel my right hip press into the mat a little bit more. So try to feel that connection from your left arm all the way to your right hip and vice versa. Nice. Now we're going to hold at the top. Both arms, just take the other arm out now. So we're bending the right elbow into 90 degrees and press it up. So try to do this without letting your hips wiggle all around. We want to try to keep the hips stable. Very nice. Y'all are looking incredible. Just focus on your breath here for 2 more. And last one. Now you're going to flip your palms. So if you had the palms facing each other, you're going to turn them so the thumbs face each other. If your thumbs are facing each other, you're going to turn the palms so that the palms face each other. So I know we had a couple different grips going on. So just flip your grip, turn the palms. We're going to come out into a fly. Both arms open, like you're going to give someone a big hug. And then we're closing. So it looks like this. You're basically opening and closing. Now, if you did this one on the first round, you can change it up by bending the elbows. I know we had a couple different variations on that first one. So you can do either one of those if you just need a change of pace. Last 2 here. And 1, we hold at the top. Beautiful work. Drop 1 weight and hold on to that 1 weight with both hands, just like so. And we're going to lengthen the legs out to about 45 degrees. Try to hinge from the hip, just like we practiced before. And bring it in. So I don't have my hands on my pelvis, but if I did, they would stay nice and level. We don't want to tilt that pelvis. Really nice, everyone. That looks great. If you want to make this more intense, you just reach those arms overhead and noticing how when my arms come overhead, my low back wants to come up. So I really need to work to control that as the arms come out. So it's more of an abdominal move really than arms. But you can just do the lower body too if the arms are a lot. Just last one like this, and then we're moving on. Hold at the top. Woo! And go ahead and let that go. Great work, y'all. Okay. Let's bring it up into our seated position. Rock back and rock and roll up. Or however you want to get to your seated position, that's fine. And swing those legs around. I am going to fix my mat. Ugh. So we're kind of coming to our quadruped is where we end up with our shoulders right over those palms and hips are right over the knees. And we're going to go through some side plank variations again. I did this a little bit earlier today, but I want to show you guys too. So now stack your right hip on top of your left, just like you're coming into a half moon. And then see if you can open that arm. Now, if you have the shoelace side of your foot into the mat, it's going to be harder. Lower everything back down. So see how my shoelace side of the foot is on the mat? If you tuck your toes, that will make it a little bit less intense. But just go slow with it. Don't feel like you have to go very far. It's a really challenging move, so if you've never tried it, it's definitely takes a little bit. That's part of the reason why I want to show you, because I feel like it's definitely not something that you can't do. It's just a new way of doing our side plank. But you just start with the lower body. So if you want to do just the lower body and then just kind of sneak the hand away, that's always like a fun way to get into it, right? I come up, I'm just going to sneak, abs engaged, and come back in. Great job. Let's just go for 1 more each side.
You squeeze your glute, it helps.
Yeah, if you squeeze your glutes together. Exactly. That's a great tip.
That helped me balance.
Yeah. Really nice, everyone. When you're ready, come all the way down. Woo! Great job. And we'll tuck both or untuck both toes so your shoelace side of the feet is on the mat, and sweep your left leg back. And then tuck your toe, send the heel back. Now the right shoelace side of the foot comes all the way back, and then tuck the toe, send both heels back. Press the floor away from you. Externally rotate the shoulders. And just find that beautiful plank form here. Y'all are looking so good. If you need to, just lower those knees down. Just drop your knees right where they are and still find those abs. Otherwise, you can hang out here for just a sec. And we're going to lower to the floor in 3, 2, and 1. Now lower your knees if you had not already. Tricep push up down to the floor. So pretend like you're gripping the mat like you're going to be making bread and you want to be kneading that bread. Hug your elbows into your rib cage and try to keep your pinky and your thumb in the mat. And then press back up as you exhale. Now this is really challenging when we do it properly. So try to keep your pinky and your thumb down. If you start to feel your pinky come up, it means you're losing your triceps. I know, so much different. Why is it so much harder? Very nice, everyone. Now, this is another one where we don't have to do that many. We do them properly. So let's take one more.
Gosh, what do I do anymore?
Yeah, they're really intense. So if you feel comfortable on your stomach, go ahead and come all the way down. If you do not feel comfortable being on your stomach, I'm going to show you an option to do this from your all fours. But if it feels right, you're just going to come down onto the mat. We're finding the triangle with our hands again. And you're going to place your head right on the hands. So, of course, if you need to see me, that's fine. But once you get a feel for the move, try to place that head down. And we'll work from that neck alignment. Okay. So your shoelace side of the feet are on the mat. And we're just going to keep those hips heavy. So think tucking your tail. Right? We don't want to let the booty stick up. We want to think tucking the tail, keeping those hips down. Now, just lift the left leg just barely off the floor. And just draw a little circle for me about the size of a dime. Just a really, really small circle, maybe the size of a quarter. Pretend like someone's pulling your toe with a string and it's getting longer each time you're drawing that circle. 3 more this direction, 2, and reverse your circle, other way. Remember to keep your hips heavy. Notice how as that left leg lifts, your right hip is probably going to want to come off the mat. All right, that's where our challenge is really on this one. You can think about pressing your opposite shoelace side of the foot into the floor as well. Last 2 and 1. Go ahead and flex the foot, point the toe, and bend the knee, bring the heel in. It's a little hamstring curl, and then we kick it out. We kick it in, and we kick it out. Beautiful. See if you can keep that quad lifted off the mat here. Hips stay heavy. So my left leg is lifted and my right hip is trying to come up. But don't want to let that right hip come up if you can help it. Think about tucking your tail and really squeezing those glutes. Your abs are there to help you. And you can even think about pressing into the shoelace side of your opposite foot. That helps with your balance. Yeah. Just a couple more like this. You guys are looking incredible. 2 more. Next one we hold, and then we're going to walk the ceiling. So pretend like you want to push that foot all the way up, and you want to make a footprint on the ceiling, and then lower down. Footprint and return. Footprint, return. Yeah, this is really working on that hip extension and keeping your opposite hip down as well as you do this. Now, like I said, if you want to do this on all fours, it's the same movement, but you're just on hands and knees. So you can always do that as well. I know I mentioned that if you have some issue where you don't want to be on your stomach, go right there. All right, y'all, we're almost done. We've got 2 more and 1. Beautiful. Let that go. Take it right into the other side. So keep your hips heavy. Remember that booty wants to stick up, but tuck your tail, lift your right leg, and just draw little circles with that toe about the size of a dime or maybe the size of a quarter. Think about your leg getting a little bit longer each time. Someone's pulling it with a string, and your opposite hip is staying grounded. Think tucking your tail. Beautiful, everyone. Last 3, then we reverse. 2, and reverse your circle. Make sure that opposite hip stays down. You can press into your opposite shoelace side of the foot. Sometimes that will help create that connection. And last 4, 3, and 1. When you're ready, adding on, flex the foot and bend that knee in and straighten it out. Bend it in and straight. Beautiful. Now, one side might be more intense than the other. Pretty normal, honestly. But try to work to keep those hips on the mat, right? So that the leg that's moving, your opposite hip is the one that's probably going to want to wiggle all around. But we're going to work on not doing that and not exaggerating that. All right, 2 more here before we walk the ceiling. And bend that knee in. Walk the ceiling here like you want to put a footprint. And return. It's a footprint and return. Your opposite hip is going to stay grounded. Very nice. Whoo! This is going to help out with your arabesque form as well. And will help out with some of you that have low back pain. A lot of times we have low back pain because our hip extensors are weak. It's a great one to help with that. Okay, we're almost there. Yeah, just 3 more. 2 and 1. Whoo! Let that go and let your booty just shake out. Then bending those knees. This is going to be a windshield wiper stretch, so keep your hips heavy, but just let the knees and the feet drift to one side and the other. But try to keep your hips grounded on the mat. It'll give you a little bit of a different stretch. Yeah. Just a nice release, a nice treat, because we just did so much hard work. 1 more here. And lengthen your legs out. Now we've got a little more upper body from here. So bring your arms out to about the distance of your mat, kind of like the Superwoman arms. But we're going to start with the upper body, and the gaze up is going to be very specific. So start with your forehead down. Pretend like there's a marble right underneath your nose, and you want to be able to push that marble as far out in front of you as possible. So push that marble out with your nose, and eventually, once we start to come up, bring your elbows underneath you and slide up into, it's kind of like a Sphinx pose technically. And then we just lengthen it back out, reaching forward. This is our warm up for what's to come. So push that marble out with your nose, hips stay heavy, hips stay heavy, hips stay heavy. Yeah, very nice, looks good. You guys are looking fantastic. Keep those hips heavy, push that marble. And so your gaze is less and lift. Looks awesome, Logan. You guys are looking incredible. Once you lengthen, you can hold there. And we're going to add some upper body. So just push that gaze forward with your marble, but don't slide your arms up. Just lift the gaze and float your arms off like we're going to go for a swim. And then just pull your elbows back like goalpost arms and reach it out. Now you can keep your gaze forward to the corner of your mat, or you can gaze right down at the floor. But we don't want to go too high in that upper body just yet. If you want to go a little higher in your extension, you can start to like shine your chest forward a little bit. So if you feel really comfortable in your extension, you want to lift that chest a little, you can do that. But try to keep your hips heavy as you do this though. If you feel your hips starting to pop up, that's a sign that you've gone too far. So try to keep your hips heavy as you lift that upper body. Very nice, everyone. I love this. You're looking so good. Just 2 more here. And you can even bring that forehead down if you wanted. And we're going to hold those arms out. You've got 90-degree arms, just butterfly wings out and return, out, return. I'll show you this from a different perspective. You're right here. Think about trying to touch those shoulders together, externally rotate and back. Externally rotate and back. Ooh. Keep your hips heavy while you do this though, please. And just a few more here. Last 2 and 1. All the way back down, release your head. Bring those arms out and just take a nice stretch with those arms by your sides. So we're going to bring the palms up and basically the back of the hand is down. Just gaze towards the left. Oh, just relax for a moment and now gaze towards the right. This is actually, it looks like we're doing nothing, but we're getting a stretch on our cervical spine. So now gaze towards the left and gaze towards the right. And gaze right back forward. This is the really funny one. You might think I'm crazy, but we're going to try it. Tuck the chin like you want to give yourself a double chin and try to touch the forehead right onto the mat. Notice how I get a little stretch through that neck. So the idea is to like tuck it as much as I can and then just kind of let that go. See how my shoulders start to collapse down? And then I'm just going to do a little nod and a shake. I know it looks really funny, but you're basically just massaging your third eye, nodding and shaking. And once you've had enough of that, just bring your gaze back to the left. Your cheek comes down. And then bring your gaze to the right. Oh. Now we'll come back up to the top. So press yourself up to all fours. And go ahead and swing your legs around to the other side. We're going to come into a seated position, finishing up with a seated twist. So you can pull your booty cheeks apart once again. Feet are about hip width distance, maybe a little wider. And we want to find our neutral spine here. So you don't want to come into your C curve, and you also don't want to be like back bending, right? So we're right in between the two extremes, right in that neutral. Open your arms out and think about twisting towards the left and keep your collarbones wide. So reach your back arm to the back and your front arm reaches forward, and now hinge from the hip. Almost like you're going into a saw. Perfect. Yes, great. Now come all the way back up and back to center. Twist towards the right. Reach your fingertips towards the back of the room and reach your front fingertips forward. Now hinge. Great job, everyone. I'm going to show you this from the front so you can see as well. So try to keep your sitting bones grounded. And notice as I'm twisting, I want to open my collarbones wide. So I'm giving someone a hug, and then I'm hinging from the hip forward. Hey. Yeah. Exactly. So you get that twist, giving someone a hug, and then I'm hinging. Really nice, everyone. Beautiful form here. Feels a lot different when we slow down. Once you get back to the center, you can actually give yourself a legit hug. And you can keep the legs how they are, or you can just come into a comfortable seat. This one, we're going to just try to be comfortable in that lower body. So lift the elbows up, a little stretch. Maybe your gaze follows, and take a little circle with those elbows one direction, just a little circle. Yeah, and you can have your gaze follow if you want. It's kind of like a dance move, I guess. And then right back to center. And reverse that circle. I know it looks kind of funny, but sometimes those are my favorites. Great work, everyone. Got one more here. And we're going to change the arms. So go ahead and bring your arms forward. Now, instead of grabbing the shoulders, we're just going to grab onto the elbows, like you're going to cradle something, and reach your arms up. Now a big circle, one direction and around. Your gaze can follow if you want, or it doesn't have to. And if you want to do this again at home, I also love to do this one on the mat. It's the same exact move, but you're just on the floor. So if anyone wants to try that, you can do so. Just make sure you go both ways. So reverse your circle if you had not already. So this is one that you can do when you're just sitting at your desk during the day or whatever. I feel like it's totally underrated stretch. I don't know why. I just love this one. So go ahead and come to the center when you're ready. Yeah, I love that one. And we'll shake it out. And we'll take our final chest opener when you're ready. So if you came down to the floor, you can come up to your seat. And any seated position that works for you, if you want to be in butterfly or in your straddle, you can do that. Interlace all your fingers and just reach up tall to the sky. Biceps hug your ears. Keep a crescent moon shape in your right rib cage as you reach to the right. Nice. Reach up out of your hips. Sitting bones stay grounded. Nice. And other side. Crescent moon shape in your rib cage. Yes. Gorgeous, everyone. And we're holding at the top. Exhale and open those arms into goddess. Lift the chest a little bit. Maybe a little back bend if it feels good. And then lift the arms up. We'll take one more stretch here and we'll open the arms out really big, just like you're so proud of yourself because you are, or you should be. Okay, nice and open to that chest. And then lift back up, palms come together. Oh, the tallest you've been all day. And we'll finish with our hands in our heart. You just go ahead and come down and give yourself a nice round of applause. Woo, you guys are awesome. Great job. Yeah, I love that. Awesome work, you guys. Thank you for being here. And I have to show